Greetings, Pokemon fans, and welcome back to JD's Nerdverse. Today we're doing a playthrough of Pokemon Blue using Ninetales. Ninetales is known as the Fox Pokemon. Some things I wanted to go over real quick before we dive into the actual playthrough. So this Pokemon and the next Pokemon Arcanine pretty much start this game out at a disadvantage based on my rules. So let me explain. So the other three Pokemon we played through as in this series, Magmar, Charizard, and Rapidash. All three of those are normal evolutions, or they don't even evolve at all for Magmar. So they level up and they will gain moves throughout the course of the playthrough. Whereas Ninetales and Arcanine will not do that because they are stone evolutions. And I don't think it's just generation 1 or 2, I think it's just all the time. When you are a stone evolution, you don't level up moves after the stone's been used. The only exception I think is actually the Eevee line. I think the Eevee line still lets you get moves if it's a stone evolution. But in this case, it puts Ninetales at a huge disadvantage. So let's look at the stats of Ninetales real quick. Ninetales has 76 in attack, and it has it says on here 81 in special attack and 100 in special defense. But in generation 1 it was just special. There was no special attack or defense, just one stat, and that's 100. So that covers attacking and defending. So it's a special attacker, meaning special attacks are going to be much more potent with this Pokemon than physical attacks. So when you're a stone evolution, you don't gain the normal stuff you would get throughout the course of a playthrough. So let me show you, for example. As Ninetales, we start out with the moves Ember, Tail Whip, Quick Attack, and Roar. We don't level up and get any more moves. And the downside to that, and this is the problem with this Pokemon, it's also the problem with Arcanine, is you're missing out on what would make this Pokemon a lot stronger, which is Flamethrower. Flamethrower you get at 31. Well, this is Vulpix's moveset, so it'd probably be a little bit later, but you get it at 31, and you can even get Fire Spin, which Fire Spin sucks. So that's a disadvantage that this Pokemon has. It's not getting its best move. So the best fire move it can get, we won't get until we beat Blaine, which is Fire Blast. So as kind of a way to compensate that a little bit. I mean, I can't just give it Flamethrower. That'd be broken, and that's not fair to the other Pokemon. It didn't get their best move to start the game. So Flamethrower will not be available in this game. However, Roar is completely useless. So I am substituting in a Confuse Ray for Roar. Okay, so that's what we're doing to kind of balance that out a little bit. It doesn't completely balance it because that's still not a special attack, but it is something that can actually just help the Pokemon out and doesn't give it a huge advantage. So that's what I'm doing in this playthrough. So I just want to let everyone know that. And Arcanine will get something similar, and when we do Arcanine's playthrough, I'll go over that. But without further ado, let's go and dive into the playthrough. We jump into our first battle, which is against our rival. Our rival's name is, I don't even remember his name. It's Rufus. Yeah, I just picked a random name. And I gave Rufus Squirtle, because Squirtle is water type. It's been the same Pokemon since we've started playing this series. And in hindsight, like I said, I probably should have chose like just Charizard or something, because then it would have Gyarados when it made the playthroughs a little bit harder. But that's how the game would have picked it if you were able to pick Ninetales as a starter. I'm fairly confident that Game Freak would have picked that as the type it would have automatically given you, or the Pokemon it would have automatically made your rival's Pokemon. So we're going through Bug Force here. And Bug Force, like I said, super easy. We are a special attacker. You can already see the stats are favoring into the special realm. We're already at 21 special, and we have 17 attacks, so we're obviously a special attacker. And so the Pokemon in here are not really surviving pretty well because, one, they're bug type, they're weak, but also, like I said, our special attack is pretty high. Our special's pretty high. So we obliterate this, and now we're going to move right on to our second rival battle. Like I said, this is mandatory in all my playthroughs. So the second rival battle, we get got by Pidgey here. Pidgey, we should have gone for Confuse Ray, but it is what it is. And if I were to do this again, I'd go for Confuse Ray, just eliminate that chance of getting Sand Attack. So we do get the knockout. We do have full health going into the Squirtle. But the problem is, if we just can't hit the Squirtle, we're not going to win this battle. So I'm going for Tail Whip to hopefully just maximize whatever I can do. And -4 on accuracy is what we're at right now with Sand Attack. It really did its job, and now we're going to have to go for one more. The reset didn't count, but I do make sure it applies before I go into Brock. So now we knock it out, and we have no problems at all. We have one accuracy lower. That's not too bad. We can survive the battle, because the AI here doesn't do anything smart. If it just did bubble every time, it might have won that battle. But we get the win. We get a pretty easy win, honestly, and move right on to Brock. So see, there the reset is applied. And in Brock's gym, we're going to fight the Million Light Years trainer. He should be a breeze. He really should. Ember will be no matter what he uses, it's a 3-shot. And then when you bring out the Sandshrew has low special. So we do Ember, it's a 2-shot. And we're going to go right out of this battle into Brock. And Wakanda forever. He looks like Wakanda forever. I don't know if you've If you've never been to my channel before, I make that joke every time I see Brock, because his picture in the game looks like he's doing the Wakanda Forever, and he's shirtless. It's really weird. So Geodude goes down to a handful of embers. Now, like I said, we're a special attacker, so our special attack stat helps the ember be more effective. Rock is actually resistant to fire. However, they have low special, so we're doing a decent amount of damage. So we win that battle pretty convincingly. I'm going to move right on to Mount Moon. And nothing special in Mount Moon. We're all the way up to level 17 at this point. We haven't added any moves. We're not able to do that at this point. And so we're going to go for Ember, and we're going to knock out his Grimer. Voltorb comes out, 2-shot with the Ember, very good. And the last Pokemon is Coughing. Now this Pokemon does get a nice advantage, and I'll go over that here in a minute. But we grab the Dome Fossil, we always do. All hail the Dome Fossil. If you didn't ask, if I didn't tell you, I'm pretty sure you were going to ask anyway. So if you, in fact, now think of it, go and comment. Comment's good for YouTube algorithm. Now we're facing our third rival. Third rival comes out. We're going to go for Confuse Rays to make sure that Pidgeotto cannot sand attack us. I mean, he probably will, but we makes it so we lower the likelihood, and he does not sand attack us. That's good. So the rest of this battle is pretty much a foregone conclusion, unless we royally screw up. Now here's where Ninetales has an advantage over Rapidash. So Rapidash couldn't learn Dig, and also, well, it could learn Body Slam, but couldn't learn Dig. Dig is a 100 base power ground move. Again, we're not a physical attacker. That's where Rapidash would have had a great advantage, is being a physical attacker. But Rapidash could not get it. However, this Pokemon can. And getting that move is going to give us the option and the possibility of being Misty while we're here. I think in our previous playthrough, when we played through this a long time ago, playing as Vulpix evolving into Ninetales, we actually had to go get Body Slam first to beat Misty. But we're going to go ahead and face Misty right now and see if we can get it done on the first try. Now usually we move pretty weak to it, so Bubble Beam is usually going to blast through us. However, high special means high special defense. So we go for Dig. Dig one-shots to star. Your critical hit skipped over the X-Defend. Very good. And Dig, if we didn't have an X-Defend, we'd have won this battle. And what I should have done is, it's RNG. It's all it is. It's RNG. If she doesn't do anything, knock out again. Very good. And we actually get a pretty good critical hit rate with this Pokemon, of almost 20%. So that means a lot of time we'll get that. So we do Confuse Starmie, hoping he doesn't actually hit us. And get the second hit on the Dig. We knock it out, even though the X-Defend didn't do anything. We beat Misty, and we'll move right on to the SSN. The SSN, we're going to fight this youngster here. This youngster is going to have one Nidoran male, and once we beat the Nidoran male, we can pick up probably one of the better moves in this game for most Pokemon. It usually unlocks a lot of Pokemon. We have Body Slam now instead of Quick Attack. So our moves are Ember, Body Slam, and Dig. Again, we are a special attacker, so having all these physical moves isn't the greatest thing. However, having critical hits really compensates for that. So critical hit the Pidgeotto. We hit the Eradicate. I don't think we critically hit the Eradicate. Body Slam on the Kadabra. Knock it out. Very good. And in the War Turtle, we get a one-shot, and it's going to be a two-shot. We get the win. We beat our rival. Move right on to Lieutenant Surge. Now, Lieutenant Surge really isn't a problem because he doesn't really have a type advantage. We're not exactly like super defensively strong. We are on the special side, but we have Dig. And Dig's going to one-shot every one of his Pokemon because they have a type weakness to Dig. So Dig on the Pikachu. Raichu's a little more bulky, so I'm not sure if Dig's a one-shot with Raichu, but we're going to find out. It's a one-shot. Well, critical hit, so I don't know if it would have been a one-shot regardless. But we get the win, and we move right on to Rock Tunnel. Now, this is where Rapidash had a little bit of a wall-off because it didn't have a great way to beat the Boomer, the Hiker here. But Dig is a one-shot on all the Pokemon. And what you really hope for is that you Dig, and then one of them explodes, and you come up when the other one gets thrown out. And I'm going to move right on to Saffron City. In Saffron City, we don't always do this, but some Pokemon need this. This Pokemon needs to go in here and fight all these fighters. Okay, these fighters give you the opportunity to get a couple extra levels. Use this like 1 or 2, maybe even 3, depends on the level curve of the Pokemon. And what this is for is because we do not have a good mid-game special move. If we had Flamethrower here, this would not be an option. We would not have to even consider this. However, because it's a Stone Evolution, is why I went over this in the beginning, it has a disadvantage of having Ember throughout pretty much most of the game. Ember is a garbage move. Just throwing it out there. It's not very powerful. It's only 40 base power. It's 60 with stab. And even against things it's weak to, it doesn't do a lot of damage. When we go face Erica's gym, we're not going to be blasting through Erica and like destroying her gym or anything like that. It's going to be a situation where We're going to have to use multiple hits, which leaves us susceptible to being poisoned, being confused, being paralyzed, being put to sleep. So that is the disadvantage that Ninetales has, and it has to take about, it didn't take too long, it took about 2 minutes to clear out this gym, but that's still 2 minutes that it has to spend to get to higher levels, because we have to get our other stats boosted up a little bit to compensate for not being able to use our special attack to its fullest extent. Now we're using Confuse Ray here to help us out a little bit, and again, we get poisoned. Now poison's not exactly the worst thing ever, because now that we're poisoned, they can't put us to sleep, they can't paralyze, can't do anything like that. So poison does have a kind of an advantage in a way, but Ember is a 2-shot on all the Pokemon with Erica. Erica really wasn't too bad. So even though we had, you know, not our best move, at this point with Vulpix, we would have Flamethrower and we'd be blasting through everything. So it's about how we're going to counter that and the strategy we have. But we move on to Giovanni, and he'll be 1-shot by Dig on both of his first 2 Pokemon, and I don't think Kangaskhan will. Kangaskhan, she's a little bulky, and Kangaskhan is a 2-hit. Comet Punch does decent damage, but we get another Dig and another knockout. We beat Giovanni, move on to our 5th rival battle in the Pokemon Tower. Pidgeotto comes out, we're going to go for Body Slam. It'll be a 2-shot, just don't stand attack us, good. Growlithe comes out, it's a 1-shot, excellent. Execute is 1-shot by Ember. Kadabra will be 1-shot by Body Slam. And then Wartortle will not be a 1-shot, it's pretty bulky. But we're going to get a 2-shot on the Wartortle. We'll get the win over our 5th rival battle, and we'll move right on to Koga's Gym. Now, Koga's Gym, we need to get Koga's Gym beat, because that's the only way we're going to be able to get another fire move. Because you got to beat Koga to be able to use Surf to get to Cinnabar Island. And we're going to go ahead and go for Dig. Very good. Dig 1-shots to Coughing. Muck comes out. Or go for Confuse Ray. Prevent it from poisoning us. Prevent it from minimizing. So Dig's a 2-shot. Very good. Dig is a 1-shot in the Coughing. Now with Wheezing, we're going to go for Dig. And the hope is that it would just explode while we're on the ground. But we get a 2-shot with Dig. And we beat Koga pretty convincingly, honestly. And move right on to Blaine. I think it's Blaine. Yep, it's Blaine. Yep. So Blaine, beating him is important because it gives us Fire Blast. Now, do we need Fire Blast right away? No, we don't. Because we're going to use some other moves instead of Fire Blast. We're going to be a physical attacker for a while. We're going to utilize our stats that way. If I do Fire Blast now, I might have to remove it for another move. And I have some strategy built into this. But Blaine is pretty much a cakewalk. We're using Dig across the board. And we barely take any damage. We beat Blaine. And we're going to move right on to our 6th rival battle in Silph. The rival battle in Silph is going to come out with a Pidgeot, okay. I was going to say Pidgeotto, but Pidgeot. We confuse it so it doesn't stand attack us. It hits itself and we 2-hit knockout. With Body Slam, we're going to Dig on the Growlithe. Execute, come out with Ember. Ember will 1-shot, very good. Alakazam, just any good physical move should 1-shot it. Body Slam knocks it out. So we're at full health going into the Blastoise. We don't really have a great option here. Blastoise can just keep going for Withdrawal. And the problem with Withdrawal, it's going to up its defense. Now, it doesn't have a great move right now. This is why I keep talking about the Gyarados line. If you had Gyarados, it'd be a little bit different. But we get the win over our 6th rival battle. Now we're going to move on to Giovanni. Giovanni number 2, not really a redemption arc. His team's pretty much still garbage. Dig on the Nidorino, one-hit knockout. Kangaskhan, we're going to go for Confuse Ray just to see if it helps hit itself. Dig gets a 2-shot on the Kangaskhan. Rhyhorn comes out, Dig knocks it out, and then his Dig knock out the Nidoqueen in 1 hit. Nope, it's a little bit bulky, but we're just going to go for Body Slam, finish it off. Get the win over Giovanni. And now we're facing Sabrina. Sabrina will be a cakewalk. Any good physical moves gives Sabrina issues. So 1-shot on the Kadabra, 2-shot on the Mr. Mime, 1-shot on the Venomoth. A critical hit kind of helped there. And then 1-shot, oh no, not a 1-shot, but a 2-shot on the Alakazam. So we beat Sabrina and her Whip. And once we beat Sabrina, we're going to go ahead and move right on to Giovanni. It's a Giovanni, Sabrina, Giovanni sandwich. And now we're going to go ahead and face Giovanni, the final Giovanni battle we have. And we're hoping, we want Rhyhorn to go for at least one, like, Tail Whip or something. It didn't happen, so not a big deal. What happens there is if he goes for Tail Whip, it badge boosts our attack and special attack so that we can, be boosted and be more powerful throughout the battle. We just leveled up there, so it would have been pointless to do that. But we get the knockout over Nidoqueen. Nidoking's a 1-shot. Not quite as bulky as Nidoqueen. But Rhydon goes down to 2 digs. And we beat Giovanni. And we're going to move right on to our last rival battle. Which is rival number 7. Well, rival battle before he's a champion. And rival battle number 7, he's going to come out on our way to Victory Road. And here goes with a Pidgeot. Now we've added Mimic. Mimic will let us mimic a move. We're going to mimic Agility. Agility we're going to use. We don't need to get faster, but it does the badge boost, which makes our attack stat, makes our special stat better. So Body Slam will be a 2-shot. Very good. We just leveled up, so we lost all that. So it's kind of pointless that we did it that way. So not really the greatest strategy on my part. But regardless of that, we do still, I'm trying to let him use Tail Whip. So Tail Whip boosts our stats back up again. We are pretty frail at this moment, so we don't want to get hit. But our attack stat has been boosted because the badge boost glitch with Tail Whip hit a couple times. We're going to Body Slam on the Alakazam. We need one more. We're almost close to being knocked out. This got way too close for comfort here. Confuse Ray, making it so it doesn't hit me. I'm still poisoned, so I do need to... I need to hit the Pokemon. I can't knock it out. I get very lucky here, and it hits itself. We do get the win. Now, with the rival defeated in the Victory Road and our rearview mirror, we're going to go ahead and take on the Elite Four. The first member of the Elite Four is Lorelei. Lorelei is the Ice Specialist. She leads with the Dugong Gong Gong. Now, Dugong Gong Gong is pretty bulky. He doesn't go down easy. He also heals himself. And when he's sleeping, we miss a Gen... We get a Gen 1 miss, that 1 in 256 Gen 1 miss that you can get. But we get the knockout and move right on to the Cloyster. Now, the Cloyster is a problem because Cloyster has Clamp. Clamp is a water move, and it basically works like Wrap. We can't really do much with it. And also, Cloyster is very bulky. It's the bulkiest Pokemon in the game. It has the highest defense. I think it's like 180-something defense base stat, but right now hers is at 204. So that battle didn't go too well. So I got to come up with a new strategy. So we're going to go for Confuse Ray and do Gong 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 so it doesn't do anything else. We are Fire type, so Ice doesn't really do anything to us. And Body Slam will knock out with a critical hit, so good. We go into Cloyster with a lot more health than we did before, and we're going to Confuse, like I said, do the Confuse Ray, and hopefully Clamp doesn't lock us down again. It actually got a critical, so it keeps hitting us. If you get a critical hit with any kind of move like Wrap or Clamp, it keeps hitting, or Fury Attack, it keeps hitting. A multi-hit turn, multi-hit move like that. And so we got to go again. So these are 2 resets already on the Lorelei. And Body Slam will knock out, so we have full health now going into the Cloisters. This is the best case scenario so far. I'm going to go for Body Slam. Body Slam would be great if we get the Paralyze, and he can't do that. So Clamp hits us, and as long as we can survive some Clamps, we hit Dig, we knock out. Now that's the only Pokemon that's going to give us the most problems. So now we can go ahead and use Amnesia. Amnesia, we mimic it from the Slowbro, and Amnesia will up our attacks, our special attack by 2 stages. But also ups all of our other stats by one stage with the 12.5 boost from the badge boost. So we have to go for Body Slam and Dig on the Slowbro. And the reason why is we don't have a special attack. I'm keeping Confuse Ray because there's a very good reason for that, which I think in hindsight maybe I shouldn't have, but you'll see why here in a minute. And now we have our fully maxed out stats, and we're going to take out the Lapras. All we got to do is make sure we don't get hit by a Hydro Pump. We win. Get the win over Lorelei. Move right on to Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno very much. We don't talk about Bruno, no. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna mimic Harden, and Harden we're gonna badge boost and use Harden. And actually, it's gonna go away here in a second because we're about to level up. We're at level 62 on the bottom left corner. If you look at where it says medium fast, or we're about to level up anyway. So we're gonna knock out the Onix. All we're gonna do is we basically just upped our defense so we can't take a lot of damage when we get hit. And Dig will 2-shot the Hitmonchan, very good. Hitmonlee will be 1-shot by Body Slam with a critical hit. Don't know if the critical hit was necessary, but it's good to know we did knock it out. Dig on the Onix will be a 2-shot, very good. And the last Pokemon is Machamp. Machamp can't really do much except use Submission, and it's not going to do a lot of damage to us anyway. So we get the win over Bruno, and we move right on to Agatha. Agatha, not really too difficult, but she does come with those things where she can poison you, she can paralyze you, put you to sleep. She really can be a menace. So we dig and hit the Gengar, 1-hit knockout, very good. Golbat will be a 2-shot. We do get confused, however, we still get the knockout. Body Slam, 3-hit knockout, very good. Dig on the Haunter will be a 1-shot, extremely good. Arbok, looking like we're pretty good right now. Dig is a 1-shot on the Arbok, got a critical hit, don't know if that mattered or not. And then Dig on the Gengar, 1-hit knockout, very good. So we have blasted through the first 3 members. Lorelei was a little bit of a hiccup, but now we're going to face Lance. Lance has been the problem for every one of these Pokemon that we've played through as. So this is why I kept Confuse Ray. I was hoping to get Confuse Ray so he can hit himself, And if we can just get through him without taking a huge amount of damage from Hydro Pump. So, I don't know what happened there, but I guess we got critical hit on the first hit. If we did knock him out there, we probably would have won this battle. We probably could have. So I'm still trying to just save face and still try to get this win. But ultimately, we're going to have to take a reset here and redo this again. So we're going to try it again. Confuse Ray on the Gyarados. Still hits a Hydro Pump, but that's not the end of the world. Because we can just go for Body Slam, 2 times, knock it out. And as long as we can set up and sweep, we're good. Now the other problem here is Aerodactyl is rock flying type. So it has pretty decent defense against normal moves like Body Slam. So even though we have it badge boosted, so like right now when I'm knocking out the Dragonair. So we're not knocking out, we knock out the second one because of a critical hit, but not because we're doing anything great. Confuse Ray on the Aerodactyl, hoping it doesn't hit us. We're still in a decent spot, but we're just not going to. We're waiting for too much RNG right now. So we gotta flip the RNG back into our favor, which is what we're gonna do now. So we switched up our moveset, we added Rest, so that we can recover some health afterwards. Dig really doesn't have a purpose anymore. We can't hit anyone with Dig. We can hit Dragonairs with Dig, but the other Pokemon are flying type. So we're going to Mimic Agility. We're at full health right now. So we're going to get a full setup. It hits us with a critical hit Hyper Beam, but it has to recharge, so we were able to get to pretty much full health. Body Slam on the Dragonair and knock it out. Very good. We're only at +2. So that's not great. We want to be one more. But I want to set up one more time. No, we're not going to. We're going to stick with what we got. Okay, Confuse Ray on the Aerodactyl. While it's confused, we're going to go for Body Slam. One more Body Slam, very good. And right now, we should have gone for another Agility. I'm a little upset with myself that we didn't do that. So I'm going for Rest because he just went for Hyper Beam. He has to take a turn and heal anyway. Hyper Beam doesn't do a lot of damage. Body Slam needs one more hit. Hyper Potion, it's okay. It's not a big deal. He's not going to one-shot us. Let's see, it's a critical. And now we get a Body Slam. We finally beat him. It's the fastest time we've gotten through Lance with any of the Pokemon so far we've played in this series. So that's good. And we move right on to our final rival battle, which is the champion. And now we have updated our moveset. We have Fire Blast now, which will coincide really well with our special attack. And we also added Double Edge over Body Slam to give a little more oomph. We have the ability to Mimic. We Mimic Psychic. We're going to use Double Edge. We have Rest if we need it, which I think we're going to use on the Rhydon. And the reason why we're doing that on the Rhydon is Rhydon likes to go for Tail Whip and also likes to go for Leer, which when that happens, it will lower our defense, but it will up our attack stat. So we're going to heal one more time, hoping to get some more. So look how high our attack stat is at 247, 277. That's good. So now Psychic should let us one-shot the Rhydon. We also have our specials pretty high as well. It's not just one stat. Special will two-shot the Arcanine. I'm sorry, Psychic will 1-2-shot the Arcanine, not special. It is a special move, but it's the move Psychic. And then Psychic will, 2-shot the Blastoise. It does nothing. Doesn't even hit us. We get the win over our rival. We beat the champion, and now we're just tapping, trying to get in that Hall of Fame. We beat this game at 1 hour and 3 minutes and 49 seconds. Not a bad time. If we wouldn't have had Confuse Ray, I'm pretty sure this would have been a lot slower. But I'm happy with the results of this. Again, this Pokemon does get nerfed because we don't have access to its best move, which is, well, Fire Blast is a more powerful move. I think Flamethrower is a lot more consistent. So we pause it right there. Don't worry about the playtime. The playtime is sometimes I have to pause it and use the restroom, pause it, go get breakfast, whatever case may be. But we beat the game in 1 hour and 3 minutes and 49 seconds. 6 resets. I think it's the lowest amount of resets of all the Pokemon. And I'm very happy with this result. I do think that without Confuse Ray, this would have been about probably 1 hour and 10 minutes, roughly. If we gave it Flamethrower, that'd be really unfair to the rest of the Pokemon in this. But right now, I think this sits just above Magmar, but just behind Rapidash. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. The next Pokemon we're playing through as is we have Arcanine, and we're also going to have Flareon, and I am going to throw in Moltres just to see how well Moltres does in a playthrough. There's a video coming out Friday. It was a very grueling and tumultuous, frustrating playthrough. It was unknown, and you'll see that on Friday. If you haven't already, check out the prediction video. Came out on Monday. Let me know what you think. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys next time.